What's up, college football fans? Sonoy Valenta here once again with the Mean Green Show and Stephen Hamner with QB Spotlight. And this is another one of our QB room temperature checks. And today we're going to focus in on Charlotte, the 49ers. And you guys, you already know the drill, though. If you're a fan of college football recruiting, G5 football, transfer portal, and all things quarterback and whatnot, make sure to consider hitting that like and subscribe button for each of our channels. Myself at the Mean Green Show and Stephen Hamner over at QB Spotlight. Both these constantly putting out college football content, and this is kind of where our worlds meet. So, Steven, how you doing, man? How's I know you're not me being a teacher. I keep on asking everybody how's spring break, but I know not everybody has a spring break. But how are things going for you?
All good here, brother. I even wore a green shirt for your Mean Green fandom, if you will. I know it's not the same color, but it's close enough for you. So, figure talking Charlotte, do some green in there for you. And just kind of have a green party, if you will. And St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, right? So, green all around. So, all good here, man. How's your spring break? I know you're excited just to hang out a little bit. So,
yeah. Oh, it's super nice. And, not getting too off topic, but I, ever since listening to you and Chris, talk about, the St. Patty's Day in Chicago, man, that's something they dye the whole river green, man.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he spent some time in Chicago, so that's fun times.
All right, not Chris. What am I saying? Eric. I don't know why I said that. But yeah. Anyway, so jumping back into Charlotte and their quarterback room. I think this is super interesting, and really just looking forward to hearing your take as well as what we have is our back and forth. But they're getting in the 18th class, the 12th ranked dual threat QB in the nation, and James Foster transferring from Texas A&M. He's kind of heading into what I feel like is already, a pretty established quarterback position, with Chris Reynolds. And, so, I think it's fair to say this is a two-man race. Would you say that's probably fair as of now?
Yep. Two-man race and I would still say it's probably Chris Reynolds' job to lose. But James Foster definitely, is transferring there for a reason, right? So yes, right. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, and one thing Foster does have going for him, he will be there for the spring, I believe. So he's there now. And as far as eligibility goes, I think Reynolds has 2 left, and Foster has 4 with COVID year and everything.
Right.
So yeah. So okay. So. We got Reynolds, he put up, he was a walk-on, I believe, in 2017. And he, since walking on and, getting the starting position at Charlotte, he's been nothing shy of a decent Conference USA quarterback. And I mean that in a very positive form. And, he beat, they beat us, this past year, UNT. And, where are his stats? I have them right here. Where are they? I can't find him at the moment, but he's done really well. Moral of the story, I think, all the Charlotte fans know that. And, he is about 5'10" and a half, which I know that doesn't really, bother you so much. And really, I feel like where the game's going, it's not where it used to be. You got to be 6'4" and Peyton Manning, but do you feel like he has enough to hold off Foster's star power?
Right. Yeah, I think to be blunt, like, hell yeah, he's got enough. Like, if we look back at his resume and his pedigree, if you will, 2018, he didn't start the season off as the starter. He didn't start the season off as a starter, but ended up being the starting quarterback and had to beat out a Power 5 transfer in Evan Sharifs from Miami. 2019, he is not the starting quarterback the first game of the year. It's Brett Keane, the transfer from USF, who was a pretty highly touted recruit. He didn't get the start, but got plugged in second half of the first game or so and never looked back. So I think he's used to holding off competition. He's used to people coming in, and he's used to being overlooked. Being a walk-on, being better than the depth chart, then working his way up. And he's had success. I think he's been one of the better Conference USA quarterbacks the past few years. Last year was a little dicey, and you can chalk that up to 2020 COVID year. He's battled some injuries, and he didn't look like his full self like he did in 2018, 2019. But in 2019, he had over 700 yards rushing, 2,000 something yards passing. Was a true dual threat guy who can really kind of do it all. So I think he can hold James Foster off. 100%. But with that said, if Foster comes in and his talent level is that much better and he's just getting it done, then of course he's got a legit shot to take that job too.
Yeah, and kind of piggybacking off of that, I found the stats I was looking for. So in 2019, Reynolds, he set a school record with 22 passing TDs, put up the second most passing yards in school history, and was the 49ers' second leading rusher with 791 rushing yards. That was the most ever by a 49er QB. And man, if I were, a 49er fan, I wouldn't feel the need. Let's go get a transfer QB that can come in and play, right now. And, so I feel like it's interesting. And if I'm James Foster, man, he's, out of high school, he had an offer list a mile long, a highly rated 4-star, this, that, and the other. I would have felt like more like, okay, let me go to somewhere where there's a need, more so
Right.
of a need for my talent. Not that, and I know these guys, they don't shy away from competition and which is good, but I feel like there's some sort of, it's just common sense, logic. I don't know what the right wording is, but just like, okay, no, there's more of a need for my service over here than there is over here, but he elected to go there. So I think it's very interesting. And I don't know, but I would love to know, what went into the process of him ultimately choosing that. So, and you use a term that I really love, and I've been using it ever since you said a higher floor. Is that what you say?
Yeah, high ceiling, low floor, high floor, low ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly,
So do you feel like Chris Reynolds, and not a knock on Chris Reynolds, but he definitely has the higher floor? Like there's no
he got the higher floor, which is a good thing, but he also has a lower ceiling talent-wise, where James Foster has a higher ceiling if everything clicks and goes together. And I think, to piggyback off what you were saying, I think Foster realized, okay, the offense Charlotte runs with Will Healy is going to fit his talent, fit his tool set. They have a lot of RPO schemes in there, and James Foster being a dual threat guy can fit that well. The thing with Chris Reynolds, he has such a good grasp on that whole system already. So I think it's going to be a true competition, and regardless who wins, I think Charlotte's going to be in good hands. But there's no reason to think, okay, Chris Reynolds isn't going to be the guy starting off, even though James Foster is coming in, even though it's going to be a true competition, unless Foster just picks up the system like that, which he very well could, and then just kind of takes off with it.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's just that's a crazy thing. And as someone who, as a fan of UNT, will be playing them, I don't know who I'd rather see. I mean, Chris Reynolds, I don't like seeing him. But I definitely don't want, some monster and James Foster tearing it up and, coming to, the Mean Green, having to play them either. But so we'll see. And I think it's so interesting, especially with this year where it's like that free transfer and it seems like everybody's going to be eligible this year.
Right.
It's, I know the rule seems to change day to day. I hear something or read something different, but I think that's the general consensus that if you transfer this year, you can play right away. Is that what you're understanding?
As far as I know, yeah. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So not only Conference USA, but man, there's going to be a lot of good G5 quarterback play, man, a lot of competition. So that's really cool. So let's play the hypothetical game just for a moment here. Let's say Reynolds retains the starting job. Do you think Foster is on transfer watch, or do you think he's good with sitting 2 years?
That's good. Yeah, I would. I mean, without like speaking to
we don't know. We're sure,
but I think one in this day and age, and every quarterback who's legit that doesn't get the starting job, you think, okay, he could transfer. But two, it's like, okay, he might have to sit for a year or two behind him, and then if he develops, he can be the guy. So I would say he sticks it out, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I would think that probably. Yeah, I mean, I would say Reynolds. So Reynolds having 2 years left. This is just for this hypothetical scenario. Let's say Reynolds, retains his starting job, and Foster has to wait, and Reynolds plays 2 more years, which he has his eligibility. I don't see Reynolds declaring early or anything like that. So that would put Foster sitting for 2. I think Foster would sit those 2 to play the last 2, I think. But man, that's hard, man. That's hard to ask a 4-star guy to come to a Conference USA G5 school and And hey, sit another 2 years, buddy. You know, so I don't know. Okay, let's go the other hypothetical route. Let's say Foster, it's just too much, for Reynolds to hold off, and they, the coaches, they like what they see. And you think Reynolds? I mean, I think Reynolds will be there next fall. I don't see Reynolds transferring after the spring. Do you think Reynolds for his last year would look to the transfer portal?
Yeah.
A, do you think he would look at all? And then B, if you think he would, where do you think he would be looking? Do you think he'd be looking, I mean, where do you think he'd be looking? Yeah.
If he does transfer, and again, we don't know if he would
exactly.
If he did, I would say that like similar to Asher O'Hara did, transfer to an FCS level, and so Chris Reynold obviously has proven that he's a Division I quarterback and did well. But if he's transferring somewhere that he wants to play pretty quickly, he's probably going to have to be at FCS level if he wants to go in and kind of take that starting job with relative ease, for lack of better terms.
Right.
So a good question.
Yeah. You don't think he'll take the Jack Abraham route?
Well, I mean, I don't know what school would I don't know what Power 5 school would consider tool set something they would like. Usually for those bigger guys. So
yeah, for sure. That's interesting stuff, man. That's super interesting. It'll be and it how likely do you think it is if Chris Reynolds retains that do you think it'll be a competition going into the season, into conference play, or do you think it's like if Foster can't beat him out in the spring and fall, then it's going to be hard to bench Reynolds?
I think it's going to be. I think they're going to, even if Reynolds is named the guy after the spring, I think they'll have like some competition in the fall. But if he holds on to it and plays well like he played in 2019, then that's his job. So I think I'll kind of wrap it up and send it back to you. I think if we're taking the temperature, I think Charlotte fans would be pretty excited because I think last year was kind of just like a whatever type. There's a COVID year, so I think a good fever, like 101-ish push.
Yeah.
Like I think they're in a good position. If Reynolds keeps it, great. If Foster takes it, and they know he's going to be pretty good because it took a lot of effort to beat Chris Reynolds. So I think they're in a good position.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the first time I've had a less fever than you, but I think I'm gonna leave it at 100. 100. I mean, it's still a fever, and pretty good temperature. Reason being, obviously they have Chris Reynolds. I mean, like just most Conference USA teams aren't really going to complain too much if they have a QB like that. But at the same time, he's probably not going to win you the conference. I mean, I just don't see that happening. Could be wrong though, and he may make me eat those words. But but I mean, he's a good QB. So, but to have this other guy, I mean, I don't know, man. They're just not 101 for me right now. They're 100, and we'll see. I think ultimately Reynolds is going to be the guy, and we'll have to wait and see for Foster. But if Foster does dethrone him, that was just going to speak that much more to Foster's star power and his ability. And there's some A&M guys who have spoke to me about Foster, and they're like, yeah, play the upside, which I kind of like that. Fortune does favor the bold. I mean, do they like, not to knock Reynolds, but Reynolds is probably more the safer. You know what you're getting. The higher what is it, the higher floor, if you will. But if you get Foster in there, maybe you just okay, it's gonna be bumpy the first few games, but this guy could take off. Then we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Steven. Anything else we need to touch on as far as?
I think we got it. I think ultimately they're in a good position, regardless who comes out on top, and they should be feeling good about themselves. The fan base.
Absolutely. Hey guys, obviously we want to hear from you down in the comments below. So let us know what you think. You think Reynolds is going to, keep the job? Do you think Foster's going to come in and be the guy? And where do you think, where do you guys see things going in this quarterback room, in this quarterback competition for the 2021 season for the Charlotte 49ers? And, once again, Steven, always love collabing with you and look forward to doing it again soon.
Sir.